Hey Gameheads, it's time to go offline. Not having to worry about a steady internet connection is blissful, and I get that all too well. So let's take a look at 10 awesome offline games I've gathered this month for you to play. Let's get on with it, shall we? First off is Death's Door, the Netflix subscription that follows a death rebel raven. During one of your missions, you stumble across a deep conspiracy that threatens the very existence of the death management firm you work in. The game features gorgeous graphics, intriguing gameplay, and brain-tickling puzzles, with 4 challenging zones to explore, bringing multiple puzzles, well-thought-out and diverse array of enemies, and a cinematic boss fight at the end of each zone. Death's Door has been praised for its ability to captivate. Some calling it a Zelda-style labyrinth, and others a Souls-like because of its puzzle-filled, explorative gameplay, filled with an avid difficulty and interesting lore. Up next is Art of Rally, an arcade racer that looks a lot like Paco, which was the first impression I got when I first saw the game. And in a lot of ways it does play like Paco too, even bringing the eye-pleasingly gorgeous polygon graphics and breathtaking scenery. Race with iconic 1960s vehicles and try to get the first place in the leaderboards. The gameplay is very simplistic, which fits well with its arcade relaxing vibe, something developers is well known for. And speaking of developers, it's a noodle cake game, the same people that made Otto's Odyssey, Descenders, and a lot more, so I'm quite sure of its authenticity. Okay, next up is Domino the Little One, a hand-drawn narrative adventure 2D platformer. Embark on a personal odyssey into Domino's subconscious, where the domino pieces of his turmoil are cascading. Unravel the threads of his self-discovery and discover the power within you to bring about change. The game's story seems deep and thought-provoking, with an underlying message about real-world problems such as climate change, with gorgeous graphics, beautiful music, and simplistic gameplay to drive it. Yeah, it looks good, and to be honest, you can tell it has a lot of work put into it, so it's no brainer to check it out. Next up is The Longing, a weird, interesting mix of an adventure title with an idle clicker. You play as a lonely shade, the last servant of a king who once ruled an underground kingdom. The king's power has faded. He has fallen asleep for 400 days to regain his might. It is your duty to stay in the earthened palace until he awakes. Here is the interesting part. As soon as you start, the game inevitably counts down 400 days, even when you stop playing and exit the game. This brings a weird new way to play. You can either leave the game and wait 400 days and see what happens to your avatar, or explore the cave, collect items for your comfortable underground living room, or read tons of classic literatures from Moby Dick right in the game, or at least have the shade with them. Or you can just simply ignore the king's commands and advance to the outer regions of the cave. Your choice. There are multiple endings to the game, as it encourages you to take things slow and easy. You can paint, plant mushrooms, upgrade your cave, walk around really slowly, read books, or just abandon the game entirely. Kind of like a weird social experiment. Let's continue with SpongeBob Cosmic Shake, another open world SpongeBob game that dropped, and it looks amazing. I actually covered this game in a previous video last month, but I had to add it because it's offline. You play as an iconic duo, SpongeBob and Patrick, as you untangle a twisted dimension caused by a magic bubble soap that a witch gave to the duo. Yeah, I wonder who would trust those two with such immense power. The game features really gorgeous 3D graphics rendered in the Unreal Engine 4, colorful environments, powerful mechanics, multiple iconic locations and characters, and a goofy story. Yeah, it's a SpongeBob game true and true, so what more do you need? No Place for Bravery is next, a pixel action game where you take on the role of an old warrior fighting to get his kidnapped daughter back. Slash, dodge and parry your way through a dying world filled with much violence and gore. Uncover your past and make decisions that may affect the ending of the game. The gameplay does remind me of Hyper Light Drifter, an amazing game I experienced a while back, and that alone wants to make me try it out. The combat is sleek, fast-paced with a stamina bar. The controls possess parry and dodge mechanics. This alone with other factors makes its difficulty akin to Souls-like games. Sadly, the reviews online don't speak too highly of the game and is a bit on the expensive side, so you have to check your cards before you play it. Boxhead Zombie Must Die is next. I've already talked about this action zombie bashing roguelike in a previous video. The game has had some updates since then, making it more appealing and more brushed up. The game offers dozens of unique weapons, each having several abilities and playstyle, randomly generated labyrinths, cool looking powers, and an increasing sense of power and challenge as you move on. What initially caught my interest was, and still caught my interest was, the smooth looking combat and the power system that looks hella cool and fun to play, mixed with roguelike mechanics, allowing you to build several builds and playstyles in each unique run. Next up is Hitman Blood Money Reprisal. The Hitman games are a hit in the gaming community, pioneering stealth-focused gameplay. Hitman Blood Money is an amazing port of one of their early games, refurbished for the mobile experience, even adding mechanics from later games in the series. Embark on a mission to take out shadowy conspirators using little tools at your disposal. Perform silent, witness-free kills, or manipulate the environment to engineer tragic accidents and escape undetected. The game features tons of weapons, amazing stealth gameplay, a sandbox mode to test your creativity, and even gamepad compatibility. Up next is American Farming. First off, the name sounds very patriotic, which I find hilarious, but like it strongly suggests, is a farming simulator, an American farming simulator. Yeah, there is nothing much else to add. You take charge of mega farm vehicles and equipment, all 75 of them. Perform delivery across iconic destinations of the American soil. I kid you not, that's how the developer described it. Basically farm acres of land, rear animals, harvest resources and deliver them. The gameplay is mainly driving farming, animal husbandry and resource management, painted in a very patriotic way. Something to relax and enjoy. Next up is Potion Payment, and to be honest is the one game here I'm most curious about, as it is still in its pre-registration. Potion Payment is a simulation title that gives you the role of a doctor posted in a small town that has always been wary of outside world's medical advances. Diagnose and take care of around 30 residents in this small village. Venture out into an open world, gathering herbs, roots, plants, and even fighting monsters for resources, all in order to craft and brew medicine or potions for their treatment in your cold run. It has a laid-back atmosphere with emphasis on developing connections with the small cast of townfolks. You can even go down the dating route if you so please. Yeah, the premise is super interesting, with beautiful pixelated graphics, cool-looking combat and craft mechanics to really tie it all together. Kinda reminds me of Stardew Valley, so I'm super excited. Undead Horde 2 Necropolis is next. Yeah, another game I'm dying to try out, probably because I played the first one. Undead Horde 2 is an action city builder where you take on the role of a powerful necromancer. After the conquest of the first game, you are tasked with reviving Necropolis, an undead empire taken over by pesky humans. With each battle you grow in number and power, building infrastructure, getting new abilities and talents and more, all to return your lost city to its former glory. It's a fun game that I'm definitely going to try out because I greatly enjoyed the first one, so I urge you to try it out as well. And with that, we are done. Still not satisfied with this list? There are more offline game videos I have which are currently displayed on your screen right now. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you found it slightly helpful, and I will see you in the next one. I'm out though!